Well, hello everybody. This is LadyRocker,
This is Tiger Refuge.
and we're together, half asleep. No, we're not really drunk. We're sort of...
Hey, I'm not drunk and I'm not beat up.
Well, we're taking our great adventure. It started out earlier this morning, and I have to say, it was quite an adventure, nonetheless. A lot got accomplished, I'd say, even before our actual trip. Wouldn't you say, sis?
Every once in a while, one has to go through things that don't feel nice. Often that involves really digging into yourself. And often that involves taking yourself out of the head and into the heart and soul where you basically don't want to go. But
In order to heal, that is necessary, wouldn't you say?
well, absolutely. And it's not that you don't know these things. It's not that you're not aware of these things, but to be aware of them in your head and to be able to actually feel them, or rather allow yourself to feel them, and to get to the point where you can even decipher what the heck you're feeling
Right.
are quite different things. So, as they say, knowledge itself does not equal wisdom. And, I think if we were all honest, such would be the case with all of us, and such was definitely the case with me last night. And so,
We had Diane dig real deep. Actually, both of us did. Myself and Diane had to dig deep to kind of really examine where this was all going.
you know what I think? I think that if anybody has ever been through sudden loss, and I think that for many who are either in the military or other occupations where that is likely to happen, they'll know what I'm talking about. This wasn't necessarily the case with me, but nevertheless it was sudden. And something like that, it changes you forever. And one of the things that makes it so hard is you don't get the opportunity to say goodbye. And that leaves you with a whole chunk of stuff that you have to deal with. So you have a choice. You either deal with it by just stuffing it and just pretending as if it's just like any other grief experience, or you own it for what it is, that it tore your heart out and that you could very well be experiencing, at least mildly, and maybe in some cases severely, some kind of post-traumatic stress disorder.
Right.
And, if anybody's ever been through that, I think it's fair to say we're all here to say you're not alone. And I figure if I could do anything out of this, it would be to help somebody else believe that they're not alone. And
The old scripture says, Philippians 4 verse 13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I think Paul had some wisdom right there and then and there.
And I think my absolute favorite for me personally was that for God did not give us, well, God didn't give us, we don't have a high priest who is not acquainted with our infirmities, but was in every way tempted. In all points tempted. All points. Not one, not two.
But all.
Every single solitary stinking point tempted, yet without sin.
Right.
And he says for that reason, the writer of Hebrews, that we can boldly come to his throne of grace and obtain mercy.
Yes.
Wow, you know. And it's like, oh, okay. Do you sometimes feel like nobody understands? Well, sometimes I felt that way. Sometimes it was so wrenching you couldn't even cry. But what God did was he knew that I couldn't feel it. He knew that I couldn't feel that he was there. So he sent all kinds of friends and fellow believers in Jesus. She sent, well, Jesus sent people like LadyRocker. He sent people like my friend Diane, numerous people from church, Maryland. Many of whom can be found on my page. And I also sent people I don't know, which closely relates to the culmination and the whole reason for this mad adventure.
Well, before we close out this whole thing, let's just, I think you know the chorus to this too, and we'll just sing this together. Is this?
Oh boy.
On Christ the solid rock I stand, all other ground is sinking sand. All other ground is sinking sand. All right, LadyRocker
Hey.
and Tiger.
This is Tiger Refuge. Hey, wait a minute.
One more thing.
Have we basically not really outlined what we're even doing here?
Well, that's coming up. We're on our way to meet our friend Farrell in Richmond. So we're heading in that direction right now on the train. We are going to be heading to see Nickelback one more time. And this should prove to be a great adventure in and of itself. We will detail that as soon as we get the details. So now this is LadyRocker.
Oh, so in other words, we're keeping everybody in suspense.
Yes, why not?
Okay.
So now this is LadyRocker.
This is Tiger Refuge.
And we're signing off.
Your mercy surrounds.